How you guys doing? I wanted to make this video to inform people because basically there's this news story going around about how Redbox is going away as a disc renting service. Now, now what they're doing instead is they're going to become a streaming service, and a lot of people who are very ignorant have said this is the death of physical media, which anybody who says physical media is dying has a point, but it's usually very misguided in what they're trying to say, or they just don't know shit about physical media, like they don't buy it anymore. And I know people go, well, no one buys physical media. Really? Because guess what? At the end of the day, even though that it isn't selling as much as it used to, it is still a multi-billion-dollar industry. They put out more disc now than they have ever done before. They don't do that because no one's buying the damn disc. In fact, most of these companies, there was a story that, now this could be just rumor and speculation, I forget where I heard this, but basically that was saying, yeah, the reason these big studios like Warner Brothers and Disney have cut back on their physical media is not because that they want to produce, not because it isn't profitable to produce disc. It is because that they like the easy censorship that streaming allows for. So this disc or dying nonsense is bullshit. Look at records. The records died out. They came right back. People are going to do the same shit with disc. And in fact, we've already seen things like that start happening. How many more collectors, because they were, new collectors came into existence because they were stuck at home and they realized how shitty your options are in streaming compared to buying disc, and they went out and bought disc. This is a proven thing that happened. Disc sales went up, Blu-ray player and DVD players went up. Like, this is a thing that happened. And look, it may go to a time just like it used to be back in the 90s and early 2000s, where people aren't like me, where they have a damn wall full of hundreds of movies. No, they just had their select favorites. So like you would see a lot of people that had Home Alone, you know, a lot of people had Halloween, you know, just some of those major movies that if you met that person, hey, this is one of my favorites, or we watch this one a lot. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And that may happen again, just not be as prominent as it was back in the day. And here's what I'll say about Redbox. Redbox got screwed by the studios. Studios, basically, what it used to be is Redbox got the latest movie. Right? As soon as it came out. Well, not anymore. Basically, some of these studios were holding their movies for 2 to 3 months. So that way they could put out a disc and a digital, and those would sell for 2 to 3 months, sometimes, you know, and after that they would, and then after that Redbox would get the movie. So that killed Redbox sales, right? Because the idea was you get that movie right out of the theater, right? As soon as it leaves the theaters, oh, it goes straight to Redbox. Not anymore, right? So this was a huge problem for Redbox. And then the studio started charging more. So, you know, it was actually not physical media that was hurting the Redbox. You know, the death of physical media. It was studios demanding more money, right? And trying to produce and market their disc that they put out, right? They wanted their disc to sell as many copies as it could before it went to Redbox. Showing that they have support for physical media. Because why would they hold off on Redbox and produce a disc first? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's why I say people talking about this are very ignorant. Now, do I think them becoming a streaming service is a smart move? No, I think it's dumb. We already have too many streaming services. The other day, I was pricing out how much I pay for streaming services, and guess what? It was over $100 a month. on streaming services. That is what I currently pay for Peacock, Hulu, ESPN, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Netflix, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime. Over $100 a month. Now, for the most part, I think that's fair and worth it, but we are starting to get at a point where I'm sitting here looking, God, I can't afford to add another streaming service. And Redbox, what are they going to do? You know, when Netflix, one of the biggest streaming services, is having its stocks drop and its sales go down and they're losing subscribers, why in the world would we be at a point where Redbox is going to come here? You know, that feels like that streaming service, whatever the hell it was called, that Jeffrey Katzenberg tried to put out, that one that failed, and then all the exclusive stuff that they were doing on that service went to Tubi instead. That is basically what they're going to do with this. I have a feeling that the Redbox service is not a streaming service, is not going to last very long, or it might be like a its own like Tubi service where it's just like free movies that Redbox gets to license out. You know, but like it's just no. We're just at the point with these things that it's just like it's ridiculous. And yeah, I don't think physical media is dying. So that is my thoughts on the Redbox nonsense. I think people are very stupid when it comes to physical media death, and I feel like people who aren't a part of physical media probably shouldn't talk about. Sorry, my camera fell over. Shouldn't talk about these things anymore because they're not intelligent to understand what is actually happening with physical media because they're not a part of that community, which is okay. Just like I believe people who are not in the LGBTQ community should not really be commenting about LGBTQ issues unless they have very high understanding of what's actually happening.